Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honour to welcome our final guest today, the Palestinian ambassador, Husam Zomlot.
What a wonderful gathering, vibe, full house, Debbie. This is a testament to you, to the APPG on Palestine, to Cabo, to all our friends for putting together this event. I cannot thank you enough, and it is very relevant. Brendan, yes, last year we did it in Westminster Hall in a room also packed with hundreds of our friends, but this year we wanted it to be in the House of Commons, in Parliament, in the House that represents the British people, to commemorate a Nakba that is directly related to this house, to this square. So the historic relevance of this meeting is absolutely inspiring for us, and it is a major step. So thank you for doing this. It is almost impossible for me to imagine a more somber occasion than the reason we are gathering here this evening. Not only do we commemorate the Nakba after 77 years, during which there has been no redress and no accountability for those who perpetuated this, the war criminals, the mass ethnic cleansing of Roba's grandparents, of my grandparents, of 2/3 of the Palestinian people. But we do so at a time of ongoing Nakba and genocide against our people, as you have heard from previous speakers, as you have seen in the documentary. And we are reminded that the Nakba did not end in 1948. But unlike the Nakba, which was carried out in the shadows, in the dark, massacre by massacre, a genocide is being carried out in broad daylight, on our screens, live streamed, and unmissable. But I particularly want to really extend our gratitude for speakers from all parties today. Andrew from Labour, our good friend. Kit Malthouse from the Conservative Party. Colum Miller from the Liberal Democrats. Brendan O'Hara from the Scottish National Party, for showing this unity among the British parties, for commemorating our agony, our Nakba, and for calling the UK government to take action. And we see the growing support among the UK MPs here in this House for peace and justice in Palestine and for upholding international law, and it is indeed reassuring for us. And allow me also to thank my colleagues, the ambassadors here, for really honoring us. And there are many of you, Ambassador of Egypt, Ambassador of Lebanon, Ambassador of Tunisia, Ambassador of Yemen, representatives from Qatar, from Saudi Arabia. I see many, Algeria, of course, and many I know I will miss. But your presence here means a lot. But also allow me to recognize the presence of leaders and dignitaries of the Palestinian community here. And please mingle with them. Many are here today, including Saeed Shhadi here, a veteran leader of our community, and who leads the efforts for curing our children in Gaza in many charities. We have doctors here. I see Dr. Lina in Nashif, a prominent doctor here. We have business community, a very humble one, just sitting there, Amjad Bseisu. And we have intellectuals and writers. By the way, one of our most important writers and columnists is Roba's father. That is, please meet our friends, of course, Akram and all of our friends. I know I forgot many of you. I know we have Muhammad Murar, I can see, but what a room full of the backbone of our community here from all fields. And we have Fida coming all the way from Bournemouth, from our community. Please meet her. She has just finished another big protest in Bournemouth. The Red Line, have you seen the Red Line, the long Red Line? That's their idea. But this is an occasion for all of us to come together, not only for remembrance, and remembering is important, but to work together, to continue the march together. Because the scenes that are coming from Gaza is simply heartbreaking. And you all know that numbers have exceeded 60,000 mostly children and women. And in the West Bank, as we heard from previous speakers, things are not less worse. In fact, I was in the West Bank recently, and what I saw was unthinkable. Unthinkable. In every sense. While there is some attention on Gaza, there is less attention on what Israel is doing in the West Bank. So my friends, if I begin to list Israel's crimes from 1948 onward, I'll have to keep you here maybe all of the evening and all of tomorrow. But I would prefer to look ahead, because one thing for sure, we cannot return to the status quo ante. So honorable members, we need to work together for a better future based on the rule of law and the principles of justice and equality. Just recently, the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, said, I quote, "It is unacceptable for any group of people to have lived with no state for longer than I have been alive." And he's right. It is not acceptable that generations of young Palestinians, including Groba and her siblings, have grown up under the dark shadow of oppression, occupation, displacement, siege, and the denial of their very basic rights. Together, let's make a commitment to change this, to end this. But in order to do this, first we must acknowledge that the prevalent approach for the last 30 years has failed. The approach of appeasement and impunity for Israel did not bring us any closer to peace or security. While we, the Palestinians, negotiated in good faith to end the occupation, Israel negotiated to entrench the occupation. Entrench the occupation, expanding its control on the ground, and the rest is history. You know what happened in the last 30 years. The result is not peace, but apartheid, permanent occupation, and endless conflicts. It has been the UK government's stated policy to support our inalienable right to self-determination and the establishment of a Palestinian state. Andrew and friends, now is the time to put words into action before it is too late. Next month, the UN is hosting the conference on the two-state solution. It's a Saudi-French initiative. There's a lot of regional and international momentum as we speak. This is the moment for the UK to step up, to act, to lead. Not least because the UK has a moral, historical, and legal responsibility to do so. There will, of course, be those who say in this House, who say that they support state recognition, of course, but not now. They say now is not the right time. If not now, as Andrew said, then when? Yes, now is not the time to sit on the sidelines. Now is not the time to sit on the sidelines. Children are literally dying of malnutrition in Gaza. Now is not the time to sit on our hands. Aid workers are being assassinated in daylight. Over 18,000 children are now orphaned. Gaza has become home to the biggest cohort of children amputees. And you all know that Israel has killed more than 15,000 children in the last 19 months. So non-recognition, my friends, non-recognition at this stage is not impartiality. It is not neutrality. It is a decision. It is a decision. A decision that gives Israel an effective veto power on any peace, any prospects, any resolution. It is a decision on the part of the UK government to give Israel a veto power over our right to self-determination. It is a decision. Delaying recognition is a decision and an endorsement of the extreme right-wing settler colonial agenda. It is an endorsement of the colonization and the annexation of the West Bank. It is an endorsement of the genocide in Gaza. That's the non-recognition for you. It is an endorsement of Smotrich and Ben-Gvir and, of course, Netanyahu. That's non-recognition for you. It gives legitimacy to policies that destroy homes, displace families, and seek to erase Palestinian identity. It is a green light for continued expansion into Lebanon, Syria, and you see the bombardment, the encroachment, ensuring ongoing instability in the region. That is non-recognition for you. Yet, recognition is legal. It is a legal requirement as per international law. It is democratic because the vast majority of the public in this country are for it. And this House has voted overwhelmingly for it. It is democratic. It is also corrective of the history and the role of the UK, of Britain, the Balfour Declaration and the cancellation of the Palestinian people. This is the time to uncancel the Palestinian people. It is corrective of last 30 years of doing it in the wrong way. And finally, of course, it's not the last step, Andrew. And please, we need to tell the government, we don't mean recognition to be a last step, the final step. It's a first step, but it's a first fundamental step that should be followed by other steps to make sure that we achieve the desired goal of establishing a Palestinian state. It must be followed by sanctions, followed by arms embargo column, followed by ban on settlement products, followed by accountability for those who are criminals, followed by the full application of international law. It is not the final step, it is the first step. But every day we wait for taking that first step, we reap what we have been reaping over the last 30 years. And I would like to conclude by saying this. We do demand of the UK government to uphold its obligation under international law, to lead and not to follow. Peace cannot be built upon the denial of Palestinian rights. Peace cannot and will not be achieved and built upon the denial of the Palestinian rights. And my friends, as we mark the 77th year of the Nakba, we do so not with resignation. Look at the Palestinian lot here, starting with the key and the spirit of Roba. We do so not with resignation, but with resolve. We carry our history and we carry our keys not as a burden, but as a torch. And we look to our friends, especially here in Britain, to walk with us towards a future that is not shaped by fear or force, but by freedom, equality, and dignity for all. And we are closing, my friend. We are closing on that goal, and that goal is a free Palestine. Thank you.